today we're going to be talking about theme. So if you haven't already done so, you need to label the top of your notes theme, because this is a topic that we're going to be talking about today. So I need to see everybody writing in their red reading spiral. Everything I write up here goes in your notebook. We've talked about theme before this year. Does anybody remember what theme is? It's okay if you don't, but if you do, I'd like you to share. Brian, do you remember? No, it's okay. Sydney?
A message or moral.
Absolutely. We're going to add a little bit to that today. So the definition we're going to write today is going to be the message or moral about life that the author wants you to understand. I'm going to write that up here, and I want you to write it in your notebook. So, that's dying. The message or moral about life that the author wants you to understand. Wants you to understand. So take a second and write that down. Keith, I need you to be ready. All right, pencils down when you're finished writing the definition so I know you're ready to go on. So we've identified what theme is. What we're going to talk about a little bit more today is how to find the theme of a story when we're reading a book on our own. A lot of the things that we've read this year have really told us the theme flat out. It's usually the last sentence of the story. It kind of gives you that moral. But as we're getting ready for 6th grade, we really need to work on how do we find the theme on our own. There's a couple of steps that we're going to go through today to work on finding the theme of a story on our own. So we're going to write down the steps to that, and then we're going to do a couple examples, all right? So the first thing that you have to do when you're trying to find the theme of a story is identify your characters. So let's put number 1, identify characters. Oh, my markers are all done. Keith, can you see? Can you see? Okay. So the first thing you need to do is identify the characters. What are characters? What does that word mean? What are characters, Josh? Absolutely. The people or animals in the story. You need to identify the characters, and you're going to focus on two things. What they say and what they do. So I'm just going to put 2 little arrows like this. We're going to look for what they say and what they do. So after you identify the characters, you look at what they say and what they do, you need to look at the problem in the story. What's another word that we call problem? Starts with the C. Evan?
Conflict.
Conflict. Very good. We look at the problem or conflict in the story, and we want to really focus on how do our characters solve that problem. So we see our characters, we see they have a problem or a conflict, and we're going to focus on how do they solve that problem. Focus on how they solve it. So, going over our steps one more time, we're going to identify the characters, see what they say and do, look at the problem or conflict they have, and focus on how they solve it. And then the third step, the last step, is to ask yourself, you want to ask yourself, what message does the author want me to understand? What message does the author want me to understand? What message does the author want me to understand? So take a second and write that. When you're done, pencils down. All right. So a couple people still writing. All right, so any questions so far about what any of this means? I know it's a little confusing because we haven't done an example yet, but it'll make a lot more sense once we do the example. So any questions so far? No? No? Okay. I'm going to read you guys a short little, very short short little story, okay? And together, we are going to identify the characters, see what their problem is, how do they find a solution, and then we're going to try and come up with a theme. Can I take this down? Okay. All right. So, yes.
So we write that down.
You don't have to write this down. I'm going to write it up here. You're going to tell me what to write up here. All right, so here we go. This story is called The Fox and the Goat. So that should be a pretty good indication of who the characters are going to be. Yes?
Can we write that on a different page?
If you want to, you can, but you don't have to. Right now, though, I want you to listen first, okay? So, by an unlucky chance, wait just a second, Fox fell into a deep well and could not get out. Goat passed by and asked Fox what he was doing. "Oh, have you not heard?" said Fox. "There is going to be a drought, so I jumped down here in order to be sure to have water near me. Why don't you join me?" Goat thought this was great advice and jumped into the well. But Fox immediately jumped on her back, and by putting his foot on her horns, managed to jump out to the edge of the well. "Goodbye, friend," said Fox. So who are the characters in this? Who are the characters, Autumn?
Fox and goat.
Very good. Fox and Goat. What is Fox's problem in this story? This is pretty easy, Sam.
He's stuck in a well.
He's stuck in a well. It's all right, don't worry about it. He's stuck in a well. How does he solve that problem? Denise?
He tricks the goat into coming in the well so he can jump on the goat and get out.
That's right, he tricks Goat into the well. So now comes the tricky part. This is when we have to figure out the theme of the story. We have our characters Fox and Goat. Fox gets stuck in the well. He tricks Goat into the well. Who ends up stuck in the well?
Goat.
Goat.